Hello, my name is Carrie Smoke, and I'm going to talk today about the conditions for life on Earth. I am an apologetics lecturer with an organization called Apologetics on Mission, and I have a Master of Science degree in Public Health. For more information on my background, please see the video called My Story. There are 6 lessons in this series. The first lesson was the Mars Hill approach, and the current one I'm talking about is conditions for life on Earth. And you can see the other topics that I will be covering in this series. We'll begin with an introduction. We'll talk about scientific thoughts on the universe, the Big Bang, and condition for life on Earth. So let's get this started. First of all, have you ever gazed at the night sky and been awestruck by the immensity of what you see? Have you ever wondered if we are alone in the universe? What about the Big Bang? These are all important questions. So let's go over some terms. First of all, cosmology is the science of the origin and development of the universe. Astrophysics is the branch of astronomy concerned with the physical nature of stars and other celestial bodies. Assertion is a confident and forceful statement of fact or belief. How is an assertion different than evidence? You can make a forceful statement of a belief with or without evidence. So let's begin with some scientific thoughts on the universe. This probably is a familiar picture to you for many people. It's called the pale blue dot, and it's a photograph of the planet Earth taken on February 14th, 1990 by the Voyager 1 space probe from a record distance of about 6 billion kilometers or 3.7 billion miles from Earth as a part of the Family Portrait series of images of the solar system. The cosmos is all that there is or ever was or ever will be, says Carl Sagan in 1980. The universe is under no obligation to make sense to you, Neil Tyson deGrasse, 2017. The implications of the pale blue dot, the Cosmos series by Carl Sagan and Neil Tyson deGrasse, the implications of what's being told to us is there's nothing special about the planet we live on called Earth. We are not special. We're insignificant. And surely there must be an abundance of life in this vast universe. Let's look at just one of these thoughts by cosmologists. Surely there is an abundance of life in the universe. Initially, this is really an assertion, a statement without evidence. But let's look at some of the evidence for the idea that life exists on other planets. The Universe Revealed premiered on Nova on PBS last year in 2021. One of the episodes was on exoplanets, planets outside of our solar system. So far in 2021, 2,000 exoplanets have been found that are similar to Earth in that they revolve around a sun and are in habitable zones, not too hot nor too cold. None of these 2,000 exoplanets show any evidence of life. SETI The search for extraterrestrial intelligence was founded in the 1960s. No evidence has been found to date of extraterrestrial intelligence outside of our solar system. What about microbes and water on other planets in our solar system? Well, this can be easily explained by asteroids spreading life through our solar system. Now let's look at the Big Bang. The Big Bang implies that the universe had a beginning. For decades, astrophysicists resisted the idea that the universe had a beginning because of the theistic implications. In other words, the idea of a beginning points to God. Fred Hoyle was a proponent of the steady state theory that the universe was eternal. In other words, it did not have a beginning. Thus, there is no need for God to create a universe. It's eternal. Stephen Hawking was one scientist who helped to show that the universe had a beginning. In other words, the Big Bang. Hawking's contribution was that the beginning came from a singularity, zero or nothingness. In other words, that the universe was created from nothing. Robert Jastrow of the Goddard Space Institute says in his book, God and the Astronomers, that this discovery of a definite cosmic beginning, here's his quote, is an exceedingly strange development, unexpected by all but the theologians. They have always accepted the word of the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The development is unexpected because science has had such extraordinary success in tracing the chain of cause and effect backwards in time. For scientists who have lived by this faith in the power of reason, the story ends like a bad dream. He has scaled the mountains of ignorance. He is about to conquer the highest peak. As he pulls himself over the final rock, he is greeted by a band of theologians who have been sitting there for centuries. Is there evidence to support this statement here by Robert Jastrow? Scientists do not like the Big Bang because it has theological implications, which we talked about previously. If the universe had a beginning, then who or what began the universe? The current explanation by many cosmologists and astrophysicists is the multiverse. And what is the evidence for multiverses? There are three important places the multiverse appears in modern science and cosmology: the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, string theory, and eternal inflation. However, there is no empirical evidence, empirical meaning scientific evidence, for any of these three lines of reasoning. Remember the discussion earlier on assertion. Therefore, this must really fall into the area of assertion, the idea of the many-world interpretation of quantum mechanics, string theory, and eternal inflation, because there is no empirical scientific data to support any of these assertions. So we are back to the universe having a beginning and asking the question, who or what began the Big Bang? So let's look at the idea of conditions for life on Earth. Let's turn now to this evidence that the Earth is ideally suited to support life on Earth. A total solar eclipse occurred in 1995 in India, which caused Guillermo Gonzalez to question whether or not the Earth is unique in the universe. He began to realize that the rare conditions which made the total solar eclipse possible were also the same rare factors which made life on Earth unique. For example, the Sun is 400 times larger than the Moon, but on rare instances the Moon is 400 times farther away, thus a total solar eclipse occurs. As a result of total solar eclipses, scientists have learned a lot about the chromosphere, the color spectrum surrounding the Sun. Here is a picture that I took in 2017 of the total solar eclipse in the United States. Guillermo Gonzalez published and Jay Richards published a book called The Privileged Planet in 2004, about 20 years ago. As a result of this, Guillermo Gonzalez was in a tenure-track position at Iowa State University when he published this book. He lost his tenure-track position after he published the book. This book explores the questions: are habitable planets rare or common? We will look at several levels of fine-tuning of the universe. General factors in the fine-tuning of the universe: the galactic habitable zone in our Milky Way galaxy, the circumstellar habitable zone in our solar system, and the fitness of the environment for human life on Earth. First of all, the general factors that contribute to our universe are four fundamental forces which may be familiar to you: gravity, weak nuclear forces, strong nuclear forces, and electromagnetic fields. These general factors are fine-tuned, which means that a small change in several of these physical constants would make the universe radically different. If the force of gravity was increased even slightly, only simple life forms would be able to exist. Anything larger than P could not exist. As Stephen Hawking has noted, the laws of science as we know them at present contain many fundamental numbers, like the size of the electrical charge of the electron and the ratio of the masses of the proton and the electron. The remarkable fact is that the values of these numbers seem to have been finely adjusted to make possible the development of life. The galactic habitable zone. Not only is the Earth in a habitable zone within our solar system, but is within a habitable zone of the Milky Way galaxy. This is illustrated by this picture of our Milky Way galaxy, and you can see in the blue there in the picture that's called the galactic habitable zone. So anywhere within there would be safe for life to develop. Notice, and as we look at the next slide, that our location within the Milky Way galaxy allows us a clear view of the rest of the universe. In other words, we are in the right location to make scientific discoveries outside of the Milky Way galaxy. And here's the picture. You can see where the sun is, and you can see in that arm there, our solar system is in an arm where there's a clear space. That is what allows us to see outside the Milky Way galaxy. If we were anywhere else in the galactic habitable zone, we could still have life on Earth, but we would not be able to see outside of the Milky Way galaxy. In other words, to us, the Milky Way galaxy would be the universe, but we just happen to be in the right place to see outside of the Milky Way galaxy. The circumstellar habitable zone. That refers to our solar system. If you look at Earth, it's in just the right place. If we are closer, it would be too hot for us. If we are farther away, it would be too cold. Let's look at this idea of fitness and the environment. It actually goes back over 100 years, 1913, by Lawrence Henderson. The fitness of the environment for life on Earth that Henderson describes is in opposition to Darwin's argument for the fitness of an organism through natural selection. Darwin argues that the fitness of an organism is a purely naturalistic outcome. The fitness is purely by chance. Henderson, on the other hand, argues that life on Earth is a result of the fitness of the environment to support life. In other words, fitness is a result of the environmental constraints. This is an important difference. So let's look again a little deeper at the idea of Henderson versus Darwin. If Darwin is right, then life should adapt to the different environments, and thus life should be abundant in the universe. If Henderson is right that the environment needs to be fit for life, then life in the universe could be rare. This could be why astrophysicists have not found life on exoplanets that are in habitable zones. They may be in a habitable zone, these exoplanets, but still not have an environment that is fit for life. What are the essential environmental factors for life on Earth? They are water, carbon dioxide, oxygen, and organic compounds based upon carbon. The universe has an abundant amount of organic compounds, but why is it that complex life only exists on Earth, at least as far as we know? Fred Hoyle of Caltech in 1953 discovered that life only exists in a very narrow range of physical constraints. However, it's much more than physical constraints that is important to the fitness of the environment for human life. The fitness of oxygen for air-breathing organisms. Also, the fitness of metabolic end products for air-breathing organisms, water, carbon dioxide, and heat. The fitness of the bicarbonate buffer system for air-breathing organisms. The bicarbonate buffer system is necessary to protect us from increases in acidity in our blood and other systems in our body. The bicarbonate buffer system in air-breathing organisms, humans, is much more advanced than water-breathing organisms, fish. Human life could not exist without the advanced bicarbonate buffer system that we possess. Our cardiovascular and respiratory systems, which are uniquely designed for human life, depend upon our advanced bicarbonate buffer system. So let's summarize the evidence for conditions for life on Earth. There is no evidence of life on other planets, even those in habitable zones. There is no evidence for multiverses, no empirical scientific evidence. The Big Bang implies that the universe had a beginning. The universe is finely tuned for life on Earth. Earth is in the right place in the Milky Way galaxy for life to thrive and for scientific discoveries to be made, because we can see outside the Milky Way galaxy. Earth is in the right place in the solar system for life to thrive on Earth, and the Earth's environment is fit for human life to thrive. So, conclusion: does the universe have a purpose, and that purpose is to allow life, in particular human life, to thrive on Earth? Or is life on Earth a chance event and there is no purpose to the universe, as Carl Sagan and Neil deGrasse Tyson say? Using inference to the best explanation, what would you say? Thank you. I hope you have found this video useful, and I welcome any comments or feedback. Bye.